Now we got What If Archetypes is back again, this time with Topia's cards, including Masquerade, Magic Hunters, and more, because S-Code wanted to use the full 100 characters limit without giving me any room for Let's Watch. I'm going to have to look to shorten it to LW for this, and take out some of the, like, semicolon and that period at the end there. Just to make sure you got to 100 characters, I'm sure, because it was like, fuck it, 99 out of 100, putting a period there. Fuck you. Good as reason as any, anyway. Anyway, yeah. The only reason we're doing this on YouTube is A, to give S-Code the views, and B, because that way I could read this fucking title, because it's everything. Topia did play quite a few archetypes, didn't he? And now we're going to go through them all, because the fantasy archetype review thing is back. Woo. Anyway, we're not going to get anywhere by me sitting here stammering, so go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Welcome to a very special episode of What If Archetypes, where we will be finally looking over the many cards used by the character Topia, everyone's favorite rebellious Exesian from Yu-Gi-Oh! Unleashed. In this special episode, I will be covering both the Xyz decks that he used in the series, including his famous One-for-All Dragon Saga. So to kick things off, let's start with the Masquerade archetype. This was a deck that Topia used during Season 2, during his, depression period, where, after losing those who he cared about, he lost all hope within his own existence. The archetype itself are named after different actors, and were designed by my good buddy Crimson Eyes, who also did the design for One-for-All Dragon as well. I'd recommend checking out his channel, he's a really funny guy. And by the off chance that you're watching this, mate, cheers. Anyway, I'm S-Code Knight, and let's begin this homage to our favourite golden masked hero with the Masquerades.
That's where the names came from. Monsters! Masquerade Hopkins, level 3 Dark. Ooh, we're going a little bit faster. It's a warrior effect monster with 1400 attack and no defense. If this card is summoned, by any ways evidently, and is the only monster on the field, add one Masquerade card from your deck to your hand. So, if it's summoned through any ways, I assume, evidently, you can, and it's the only card out, you can search your entire deck. That's a pretty balanced thing. I mean, you get this out turn one, like that, it's like, okay, here we go, here's my primary playmaker, I can start making my comeback. If you got a board set up, it's a vanilla. It's a pretty fair trade-off, really. Hard ones per turn, by the way, of course. Masquerade Wilder, level 4 Dark. If this card is summoned, summon one Masquerade monster from your GY, and if the special summon monster is different level, then make this card. If the special summon monster is a different level than this card, make its level 4. Okay. So if it's summoned through any ways, you can special summon a Masquerade from the grave, and then summon another monster to make it level 4 as well. This is pretty good for rank 4 spam, eh? I noticed that these are warrior types. I just thought that they would be spellcasters, but I guess that would make... I don't know, maybe that's just me. I mean, warrior, I guess, makes sense too. So yeah. Hard once per turn, by the way. Also, all the other monster effects are once per turns too. Okay, so just assume going forward they're all once per turns. Or hard once per turns. Masquerade Streep, level 4 Dark. There's like a streeper, alright. Even though I don't know what that is. 1500 attack and 0 defense. It's a warrior effect. You know, just assume that let's just assume that they're dark warriors moving forward and just skip that part. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Masquerade monster you control. It gains 1000 attack to the end of the turn. So it's a quick special summon if you control nothing, and in the graveyard it's a frickin' counterpunch and gives you an extra 1000 attack. It's alright. You can play a copy or two, maybe. No, don't, because it's not real. Masquerade Gomez, level 4. 800 attack and no defense. It reminds me of that All Might Never Fear, I am here meme thing with like his head down. Once per turn, target one card your opponent controls, any card. Negate that target's effects. If this card is summoned while you control another Masquerade monster, draw one card. So on summon, it negates a card in the field, though it does target, so that's not perfect, but it'll have to do, right? And then on summon it, and then if you summon it while you have another Masquerade, draw. Good. I don't need to explain that part. I just did. Masquerade Cyrus, level 4. Wow, this is easy. 1700 attack, no defense. Once per turn, you can discard one card, special summon one Masquerade monster from your deck. Again, assuming this is going to be a hard once per turn, obviously. Imagine this wasn't. Oh, Christ alive, no. Broken overnight. God, imagine Konami. Forget. No, they wouldn't. They're stupid, but even they're not that fucking stupid. Well, it depends. I mean, they did print Verte. Anyway, yeah, obviously this is good. Don't need to explain why. Probably going in the breeze when you get a draw. Anyway, Xyz, Masquerade Shakespeareus, a dark rank 4. Or dark spark. Yeah, Shakespeareus. It's a warrior Xyz effect. Why is these like that? Did it get edited in? Yeah, must have just been a thing. 2400 attack, 2000 defense. Needs 2 level 4 warriors specifically. If this card would be destroyed, you could attach one material instead. So if it's destroyed anyway, you could just say nope. During your battle phase, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. It's alright. For rank 4, it's okay, I guess. There are better options, but there are worse options too. Technically, it's debatably better Kachikochi Dragon. What that's worth. Masquerade Cage, rank 5. Or sorry, 6. It takes 3 level 6 monsters. And it's got 2600 attack and 0 defense. This card can attack twice in one battle phase. Also, your opponent cannot activate quick effects, while this card has material. Interesting sort of negation thing there. That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. During your end phase, attach one material from this card, just to make it a bit easier. It gets double attacks and negates quick effects. Pretty dang good. Don't even explain why. Spells and traps. Masquerade Prop Journal, normal spell. Add one Masquerade card from your deck to your hand. You can only use one Masquerade Prop Journal per turn. You can advance this card from your GUI. Special summon one Masquerade monster from your GUI, and if it is an Xyz monster, draw one card. It's a pretty handy effect. I mean, it's a searcher that can also bring back a monster, and if it was an Xyz monster, it's draw. I don't need to really go into great detail as to why this is good. Masquerade Rank Up Magic. Magic Force. Magic Mask. Target one face-up Masquerade Xyz monster you control with the highest rank. Xyz summon from your extra deck one Xyz monster that has 2 ranks higher than the monster you control by using his Xyz material. Xyz materials attacks that monster to become Xyz materials on this card. Or on that monster summoned. Or summoned monster. Either way, that's why we go from rank 4 Masquerade to the rank 6 not Masquerade. Well, it is a Masquerade, so I shouldn't say that. Either way, yeah. It's a generic rank up magic, but it goes 2 ranks higher, and it's in archetype, so you're going to want to play it, even though it doesn't do that much. Masquerade Overlay. Kinda rhymes. Pay 1,000 life points. Target the 2 Masquerade monsters in your GUI. Special summon those targets with their effects negated. Then Xyz summon one monster from your extra deck using those 2 monsters as material. And it's just obviously a really good card. It's like that. There's a Herodic card that kind of does this, like Herodic Reborn, something like that. It's a card that like brings back 2 Herodic Beast monsters, and then immediately overlays with only those 2, which is great. Until you remember you're trying to go into the fucking Heraldry Crest, and you need 3 for that bitch. Ugh. I don't know. I think it's perfect, right? Either way, yeah. Pay 1,000 life points, that's fucking nothing. Oh, Masquerade Turnabout. Normal trap. Ooh, shit, we got angry. Destroy one Masquerade monster you control. Then target the 2 cards your opponent controls. Destroy those targets. It's an Icarus attack and stuff like that. It's fine.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, now we move on to Topia's more well-known deck, the Magic Hunter archetype.
Of course.
These cards are also an Xyz deck, which mostly focus on Xyz summoning monsters through various levels. They even have their own bit of lore.
Really?
For you see, the Magic Hunters in the world they live in are a band of strong, powerful magic-using heroes which, as the name implies, they hunt magic users. Their goal is to keep the entire world they live in and all of its wrongdoing magic users under control. However, they're more than just a ragtag group of magic police. They're basically family and will do anything to look out for one another. And if it wasn't obvious, this deck is inspired by the Fairy Tail anime franchise. Although, perhaps a bit too much in some areas.
You got a lawsuit coming!
Maybe I should, I don't know, redesign some of these at a later date. Although, fun fact, Topia was originally going to use a samurai-inspired deck called Silver Samurai, but I decided to change it at the last minute due to not being 100% sure how to draw them. Hey, I was still new to it at the time.
Fair point.
Anyway, I'm S-Code Knight, and this is the Magic Hunter archetype. Also, fun fact, you know Happy, the little cat from the series?
No.
Did you know his species are called Xyz? Granted, it's pronounced Xyz and not Xyz, but still. Does sound kind of similar, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's kind of funny. Monsters. Pyro of the Magic Hunters, level 4 fire. Man, yeah, just for the record, I've never seen Fairy Tail, so this sort of thing kind of flew over my head, but I don't even remember, but I think back then I might have been like, that looks kind of familiar, but I don't know where. It's sort of like when you know a show in general, but you've never seen a single thing from it, but you get the general concept, if you know what I mean. Anyway, back to the card. It's got 1500 attack and 1300 defense. It's a spell cast. Certain the swings are all going to be spellcasters going forward. Attributes might change, but I think spellcaster will remain the same. If you would take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, reduce the damage you would have taken to 0. Once per turn, you can target one spellcaster monster you control, reduce or increase that target's level by 1. It's a pretty handy guy. Negates battle damage and then it's special summon itself to negate the damage, and it can do a little level modulation. And the best part is, this thing does not say that it can only be used for Xyz materials. Looks like Gaga Magician. And quite a number of Xyz archetype, early Xyz archetypes. This thing cannot be used as a secret material. Why? I get them on some of them like Gaga Magician, that makes sense, but why is it like on shark stickers and stuff like that? There's some of them I'm just like, but why though? Why not? What are you gonna do? Cryo of the Magic Hunters, level 3 water. It's got 1300 attack and 800 defense. Once per turn, if this card is in your hand, quick effect. And look out, Masquerade can negate quick effects. Quick effect. You can target one monster in either player's field. Negate that target's effect, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is used as Xyz material, you can target one card your opponent controls. Have that monster's attack. It's pretty handy. It's got like a side frame effect negation, and then immediately summons itself. And then if you use Xyz material, has attack. Nice. Nice. Speedster of the Magic Hunters. I think it's a level 4 wind. It's got 1300 attack and 700 defense. If you control no monsters at all, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, you can reduce or increase this card's level by 1. This card can attack your opponent directly. It's a special summon on field, so it's automatically good. And remember, jump forward turbo. And it can increase and decrease its own level and attack directly. I doubt the attack directly is going to steal you any or many games, but you never know. It's a good card. Blob of the Magic Hunters, Earth attribute. Obviously level 4. I think they're all going to be level 4. Can't be destroyed by battle. Oh, it's got 800 attack and 2000 defense, so this can't be destroyed by battle. If this was 2009 Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a good set 1 pass. Or T-set. You can manage this card from your hand or graveyard. Target 1 Magic Hunter or Xyz monster you control. It gains 1000 attack. And it's another boost from graveyard. So that's pretty nice. And it can be used from the hand, so that's also kind of helpful. So, nice. Mirror of the Magic Hunters, a level 1 Earth. It says it needs to redraw these. I just think of it as an art. I just put one on a Panda Bear and it'll be fine. I'll take it off a Panda Bear, I guess. It's got 100 attack and 500 defense. If this card is special summon while you control another Magic Hunter monster, you can target 1 other Magic Hunter monster you control. This card becomes the same level as that monster. Once per turn, during either player's turn, quick effect. You can banish this card from your GY, target 1 Magic Hunter or Xyz monster you control that monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of this turn would be. So, what this thing does is, if it's special summoned, it can target another Magic Hunter to become the same level as it. And during their player's turn, you can banish this thing so that a Magic Hunter or Xyz monster you control that would die doesn't. It's a pretty good graveyard effect mostly. The on-field effect is situational at best, but it could come in handy in a pinch, but mostly it's going to be that second effect. Cloak of the Magic Hunters, level 4 Dark. If this monster is summoned, you can add 1 Magic Hunter monster from your deck to your hand. If that monster had 1500 attack or less, which is a good chunk of this archetype, special summon that monster. Oh nice, I can give that level 1 we just talked about. It's got 1800 attack and 200 defense, so it can't search itself, but that's how you balance it out. So yeah, it's on summon strat, so I don't need to explain that, that's good. It's a hard one per turn, by the way. Spike of the Magic Hunters, level 2, Earth. That face and head. So level 3, it's got 300 attack with 600 defense. My brain is gone. Once per turn, you can target 1 Magic Hunter monster you control. This card gains levels equal to that target until the end of the turn. So you're gaining levels, which can make the thing level 6. Or you just try to even it out. I don't know. If a Magic Hunter or Xyz monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can banish this card from your GY, negate the attack, and if you do, reduce the attack of your opponent's monster by that target. You can only use each effect of Spike of the Magic Hunters once per turn. That's a mouthful. So its gaining levels is probably evening out the thing, and then if each monster is targeted for attack, you can banish it, negate the attack, and reduce the attack of the opponent's monster by your monster's stats. Reduce the attack of another one of your opponent's monsters by the monster that attacked, or something like that. You can do a lot of things. Drizzle of the Magic Hunters, a level 3 Water. It's got 700 attack and defense. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Just like that Angel 2000 guy. Once per turn, you can discard this card, add from your hand, add 1 Magic Hunter card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So you discard this bitch and immediately go into any Magic Hunter in your entire deck and grave. Give me to explain why I like to run 3 of this thing. Maid of the Magic Hunters, level 4 Dark. It reminds me of Rachel from Science and Magic. 1600 attack and 1100 defense. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 Magic Hunter monster that is banished or your GY. Special summon that targets. It's got a lot, so good automatically. Sorry. If a Magic Hunter or Xyz monster is special summoned, you can banish this card from your GY. That monster gains an additional attack for each Xyz material attached to it. You can only use each effect of Magic Hunter of this thing once per turn. So yeah, on summon, immediately summon the dude from your grave, and it can make your Xyz monster attack multiple times up to the number of materials it has. Duh, you play it, obviously. Now the Xyz monsters. Blossom of the Magic Hunters, a rank 3. Earth. Takes 2 level 3 monsters, got 2100 attack and 1200 defense. This monster can be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, if you control a spellcaster monster or monsters, and your opponent activates a card effect that would negate or destroy, you can detach 1 exchange material from this card, negate the activation if you do banish it. So it doesn't die to battle, and if your opponent activates a card effect that would negate or destroy, Ash, I'm looking at you! You can detach 1 material from this card, and if you do, negate that and banish it. Great stuff. Voltiac of the Magic Hunters, or Voltac, Lights level rank 4. Takes 2 level 4 Magic Hunter monsters, archetype walk, 2400 attack and 2000 defense. Once per turn, you can detach 1 exchange material from this card. Have the attack of all monsters your opponent controls lowered by 1000. Then this card gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls until the end of the next turn. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Also, your opponent cannot activate spells and traps until after damage calculation. So, you detach material and all your opponent's monsters lose 1000 attack. Then your monster, this dude here, gains 500 attack for each of those monsters you've flattened out. So it can max out at an extra 2500, which would give it up to 4900 max. And your opponent can activate back row while it's attacking, because they can attack him multiple times. So yeah, obviously this thing is dang good. Grandpa got in gear. Void of the Magic Hunters, rank 4 Dark. Takes 3 level 4 monsters. It's generic. It's got 2400 attack and 2000 defense. Once per turn, if this card battles a monster your opponent controls, so you detach 1 material from this card. Destroy that monster. Also, this card gains 500 attack. It's alright. You can play if you want to. I wouldn't, but you are allowed to. I give you my consent. Draco Rex of the Magic Hunters. Rank 4 Fire. Takes 2 level 4 Magic Hunter monsters. Once per turn, you can detach any number of material from this card. Destroy a spell or trap your opponent controls for each material. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half that monster's attack. Then gain life points equal to that damage. So on summon, this thing can blow up back throw at the cost at the cost of its own materials. And if it destroys a monster by battle, you hurt while you heal. I like it. It's cool, dude. Quake of the Magic Hunters, rank 5, Earth. Takes 2 level 5 monsters. It's 2600 attack and 2000 defense. Once per turn during either player's turn, if a monster that your opponent controls had its attack points changed, you can detach 1 exchange material from this card and destroy that monster. Your opponent's attack points swap, you can detach material to destroy it. It's situational attack, but I guess not terrible. Mary, Law of the Magic Hunters. Oh, it's meant to be Mary, Law of the Magic Hunters. Sorry. No, okay, so it's just Mary, Law of the Magic Hunters. Okay. It's a rank 6 light monster. Reminds me of Beatrice. It's a spellcaster disease effect with 2600 attack, 2400 defense. It takes 2 level 6 spellcaster monsters, which would be helpful considering I think you could rank this thing up into it. All Magic Hunter monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, return all non-Magic Hunter monsters in the field to the hand. So not only does it give your Magic Hunter monsters protection from targeting and destruction, but it can also, on a quick effect, return just basically, not nuke the board, but return all to hand. And okay, we got a lot of monsters that are, say, like, I cannot be destroyed by monster effects, I cannot be destroyed by X, I cannot be destroyed by Y. Not a lot of whole, I cannot be returned to the hand. We've got a few cards that are like, I'm basically invulnerable to everything, but if you breathe on me, I'm unaffected by it, so I can't get corona. But, you know, there's not a lot of cards that are like, I can't be composed. So, yeah. That's a pretty strong thing. It reminds me of that frickin' Dolce Tiramisu bitch. So yeah, needless to say, very good card. It only takes spellcasters, not even archetype locked. Spells and traps, or spell and traps. Magic Hunter Tag Team. Quick play spell. If you control no monsters, target 2 Magic Hunter monsters in your GY or Banish Zone, no such thing. Special summon those targets, then make them both become the same level as the highest level monster out of the 2. However, their effects are negated. This is an Xyz archetype. Negating their effects do basically nothing except when you do like Master Duel or AO Pro or something and you activate the effect only for it to fizzle out because you're like, oh wait, right, negated, that was a waste of time. That's a second of my life I'm never getting back. Anyway, yeah, you gotta control no monsters for it, but it's really good in like late game for recursion. You got like an empty board, or if you bounce the entire field of non-magic hunters, because for some reason you were playing the rank 6 thing in a non-magic hunter deck. But then again, it just takes 2 level 6 spellcasters, so you could technically do it. Let's go Magician Girl deck. 2 Dark Magician Girls overlay. We don't have Magi Magician Gal, but we do have this. And they become the same level, which is good. Magic Hunter Ticket, normal spell. Banish 3 Magic Hunter monsters from your GY, draw 3 cards, and if any of them are Magic Hunter monsters, special summon them to the field. You can only use 1 Magic Hunter ticket per turn. Do I need to explain why this is good? No. It's a Banish 3, draw 3, and special summon to field. Bonkers good. The only downside is what if you don't draw 3 Magic Hunter monsters, which is just like, oh no, I won't get 3 special summon. It'll be annoying, but it's like, I still drew 3 free cards. Over there, bricks. M Hunter Wand. Equip spell. No doubt for Magic Hunter. Equip only to a Magic Hunter monster. It gains 1000 attack, and also if it's an Xyz monster, you can destroy this card during your main phase 2. Draw 2 cards. You can only use 1 M Hunter Wand per turn. Reminds me of, I think it's like Wonder Wand or something like that. Where it's like you can equip it onto a monster, then tribute it in the monster to draw 2 cards, something like that. It's on that idea. It's fine. It's an equip spell that gives you an extra 1000 attack, and if it's an Xyz monster, if you have it with an Xyz monster during the second main phase, you can destroy it to draw 2 cards. So it's not good going first, but if you're going second and you need to set up a board, it could be good to get some materials. I think it's okay as a 1-of, maybe 2-of if you want to get risky. It's up to you, honestly. M Hunter Gauntlets, equip spell. Equip only to a Magic Hunter monsters. Oh, there's no hyphen, I can't equip it. No, I'm kidding. 100 Eyes Dragon, gotta run it to 100 Eyes Dragon because it had a hyphen in the first text, so it was a Red Eyes monster technically. Which would have made it uber broken. If you think Red Eyes Dark Dragoon's a problem? Imagine if it could be used with 100 Eyes Dragon. You can keep imagining it because there's no way that's fucking happening. Anyway, equip only to a Magic Hunter monster. It gains 500 attack and cannot be destroyed or targeted by opponent's card effect. It's fine. I mean, it's kind of lackluster compared to the last one, but it's like, it gives your monsters some protection and a little extra power. I think running 1 couldn't do that much damage, honestly. I mean, right, yeah. Guild of the Magic Hunters. Field spell. All Magic Hunter monsters you control gain 500 attack points when this card is activated. When this card is activated, add 1 Magic Hunter monster from your deck to your hand. So it gives you pretty power boost, and on activation, search. Just like a Union Carrier. No, not Union Carrier, but the Union Field spell. You know the one. Union Hanger, that was it. God, remember when Union Hanger was considered OP because it let you have a search on activation? Well, actually it's on resolution, but you get the idea. Which means you can definitely Ash this card, or Ghost Ogre, if you want to pop it. They'll still get the search though, but you will also get spared any of the downsides effects. But who's playing Ghost Ogre? Once per turn, you contribute 1 Magic Hunter monster you control or in your hand. Interesting. And if you do, special summon 1 Magic Hunter monster from your deck with a different attribute. Interesting how you can use the hand. So if you just like grew into one that you'd rather have a graveyard effect for, like that 2000 defense wall guy, you can just like buy and then just get one out that's better. Like one that could special summon back with the 2000 defense guy. So just like the fact that it can be used on the hand just makes it inherently more valuable. The only downside of this is that it has to be a Magic Hunter monster and they don't have any like bonuses for being attributed, but it's just like, no, but they have graveyard effects, so who cares? It really is one of those where just like, oh no. Anyway, yeah, this is the reason you play Ghost Ogre over Ash. At least one example. Rank up Magic. Magic Hunters. Quick play spell. Target one face-up Magic Hunter Xyz monster you control. Xyz summon from your extra deck one Magic Hunter Xyz monster that is 1 or 2 ranks higher than that monster you control by using it as Xyz material. Xyz materials attached to it also become Xyz materials on the summoned monster. Take a drink every time I say Xyz, you'll be drunk. No, you won't. Any Magic Hunter Xyz monster summoned with this effect gains the following effect. If this card is Xyz summoned, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Interesting, so it's an in-archetype rank-up magic that can let you choose between 1 or 2 levels, which is always kind of handy to have that extra variety. I try to hold a 1 and a 2, and then I have a 1 and a 1, and then a 2 and a 2. The brain can't do 2 different things at once. Or maybe I'm just that stupid. Let's favor on the stupid. Anyway, after it ranks up, if you go into a Magic Hunter Xyz monster, like the frickin' one that bounces everything, or Quake, for whatever reason, it just gains some protection against card effect destruction, which is nice. It's an extra bonus. It's also neat. It's neat, guys. It's neat. Obviously, you play it. Dud Hunter. I almost misread that as Dad Hunter. I'm looking for my dad. If a Magic Hunter or Xyz monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can special summon one Magic Hunter from your deck, and if you do, redirect the attack to that target. I imagine this is a normal track considering it's an attack declaration. You can place a card from your GUI, add one rank up magic spell, no card from your deck to your hand. Any rank up magic, not even a Magic Hunter one. Hello, rank up magic. Oh wait, no, that wouldn't work because I had to top deck it. Hello, any other rank up magic card. Raid Raptors be like, I'm gonna put this in with Foolish Burial Goods. You can only use each effect of Dud Hunter once per turn. It's neat. It's neat. It lets you just like redirect an attack to another. It lets you on attack declaration, especially on a Magic Hunter from the deck, and redirect the attack target to it. So you can summon that one that you prefer from the grave, and save the monster that you prefer on the field. And especially when summoning from the deck is always a nice bonus. And searching a rank up magic is just obviously you're like, Foolish Radio Good, this motherfucker. The field effect isn't terrible, just like you could do it another way. Hunter Banning. Counter Trap. If your opponent activates the card effect, it activates the card effect. If your opponent activates a card effect while you control a Magic Hunter monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. If you would take battle or effect damage whilst you control, I've never seen whilst before, whilst you control a Magic Hunter monster or an Xyz monster, any Xyz monster, or assuming a Magic Hunter one, you can banish this card from your GUI, and if you do, reduce that damage to 0. Also, you don't take any damage for the rest of this turn. It's a counter trap that has a bonus graveyard effect, which is always kind of neat. You don't see a lot of counter traps with bonus graveyard effects, although that's mostly because be grateful it's a counter trap, you bitch. So yeah, it's obviously good because assuming that it's just the card effect, it just means any card effect in general, which is just like Omni Negate, heck yeah, and the only card is I have to control a Magic Hunter or an Xyz monster. I assume it has to be a Magic Hunter or Xyz monster just to balance it out a bit more, but it's not like, oh hello, I have Dragublion who will special summon Numeron Dragon, or no, not Numeron Dragon, it's fucking, the number 94 Heart Earth Dragon thingamafucker. No, not 94, it's 92, I think. Yeah, it's 92. And the whole banish from graveyard to take no damage is just a nice bonus, I guess. If you're about to lose the duel or save you in a pinch, this probably won't come up very often, but it's a nice little extra that you didn't have to put in, so neat. Magic Hunter Formation, normal trap. Looks like it's erasing something. I want to erase this archetype from existence. No, I'm kidding, that's a joke. It's not a funny one, but it is. If you control a Magic Hunter or an Xyz monster, so just any Xyz in general, I guess, it is that generic, and you would take damage from battle or from a card effect, reduce the damage to 0, and if you do, all monsters your opponent controls lose that equal to the damage you would have taken. This effect is probably never coming, well, given the fact that it works with battle damage too, it might come up, but the card effect damage, not so much, but it has the battle damage too. Honestly, the counter trap graveyard effect is more valuable, but if you want to reduce your monster, the fact that it reduces your opponent's monster's attack too makes it like They might put in one copy. It doesn't have a graveyard effect because you can only use one Magic Hunter formation per turn, and that's it. But it's just like, it's not the worst. If you just got attacked directly, you could reduce your monster's attack so you take less damage for the rest of the turn. That's not too terrible. Oh wait, you have to control Magic Hunter monsters, or Xyz monsters to activate it, so... Huh. Anyway, yeah. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could be better, but it could be worse. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going back to that cart. I just thought of something. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm just like, I read the part where it's like, reduce the damage to 0, and then I'm like, wait, but if I reduce it to 0, I don't take any damage, so therefore the effect doesn't activate. Then I read the last part of like, the damage you would have taken. Okay, that was just me being brain dead. I can't read what I read.
Sheesh, looking back at some of these old designs, I guess it just shows how far I've come with this stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, to wrap things up, we'll be looking at a few other minor cards which Topia have used, including his famous One-for-All Dragon. The One-for-All is a powerful Xyz monster,
Indeed.
Which Topia was gifted when he was deemed worthy by his old sensei. The dragon itself is inspired by a story about an ancient hero who fused his soul with a dragon and gained unlimited power. If it wasn't obvious, this card is inspired by the quirk One-for-All from My Hero Academia.
Makes sense.
I was going through a bit of a craze at the time.
Hey, it's
Despite
a cool
that,
name,
there were
right?
also a handful of subtle references to the quirk through One-for-All Dragon. There were 9 copies of One-for-All Dragon in all the world, and that's how many users of One-for-All there are in the series.
Huh.
Fearing that this power would fall into the wrong hands, the creator entrusted 9 copies of this dragon to 9 of his most beloved friends.
Also, its attack boosting effect, once used twice, can give it up to 9,000 attack points. Again with the 9s there. So, I think you guys have waited long enough. Here are the rest of Topia's cards, including the One-for-All Dragon.
The rest of Topia's cards. Rank up magic. Terra Firma. Normal spell. Target one Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck one monster with the same type, but with a different attribute as that monster you control, but 1 rank higher. By using Xyz material. The special summon monster is creating Xyz summon has the Xyz materials attached to it. The special summon, you know, the frickin' rank up magic drill. I wish they wouldn't have that in there in every single rank up magic, but it's also like, if it has to be there to idiot-proof the damn thing. For problem-solving card text, they gotta idiot-proof everything, and then still be vague on some of their cards. Some cards just need a blueprint just to problem-solving card text them, but they never will be. And then I'm gonna go back and print 2003 cards. Unless the Stark Magician Blue Eyes. I'm just off topic. Okay, so this just lets you Xyz summon using a monster that's the same type but different attributes. So it can just help you go into the other Magic Hunters, or it could also work with the Masquerades because it's generic like that, I assume. Well, no, I think they have to be different, but because I think they're all the same attribute, so I guess that wouldn't work. But it's okay. It's a generic rank up magic. You could do worse. Rank up magic, the Silver Sword. Target one light attribute Xyz monster you control. Special summon from your extra deck one monster with the same attribute as that monster you control, but 1 ranks higher. But by using Xyz material. Special summon treat as the Xyz material is transferred. You know that drill. Once per turn, you can discard 1 light monster from your hand. Add discard from your graveyard to your hand. I assume this is like a special card that will help you go into One-for-All Dragon a bit easier, because I think it's also a light monster. So just a rank up magic that'll help you go into your light monsters a bit more easier, and it has a graveyard effect that'll help you special summon. They'll let you get it back to the hand, sort of like a, what's it called? Rank up magic, no, not Numerod Force, it's Astral Force, that'll let it add it back to your hand, but skip your draw phase. So, it's neat, it's kind of handy, I like it. Curry Venge, a fire attribute with 2 stars. It's a pyro effect monster with 800 attack and 300 defense. Pretty strong Garibo, I gotta say. If you would take battle or effect damage, you can discard this card from your hand. If you do, reduce the damage you take to 0. Reduce the damage you take to 0. I mean, not battle damage, just damage in general. Then inflict damage you're going equal to the damage you would have taken, but halved. But halved. You can only use this effect of Curry then once per turn. So it's a Kuribo that lets you negate the damage you would take and then give it to your opponent instead, but halved. It's nice. I like it. It's cool. And it's the strongest Kuribo we have, I think. So, yeah. Cool. Well, except for Curry Babylon, but, you know, that's a special case. And Curry Bandit. Never mind, then. 1 for all dragon. A light attribute monster at 4 ranks. Say dragon exceeds effect monster with 1000 attack and 2000 defense. It takes 2 level 4 monsters, so it's generic as heck. It must first be Xyz summoned, meaning you can reborn it after you've used it as Xyz material when it's been destroyed. You can detach 1 material from this card. Have this monster gain any number of between 1 and 4000 attack until the end of this turn. The attack, but you probably ran out of characters. Your opponent cannot activate card effects in response to this effect activation. Also, this card becomes unaffected by all your opponent's card effects until the end of this turn. During the end phase, take damage equal to combined attack this card would have gained by this effect activation this turn. Neither of these effects are once per turn, which is how you're able to get this thing to 9,000, because odds are 9 times out of 10 you're going to choose, oh, I don't know, 4,000. I mean, you could choose less than that if you don't have that many life points left, and somehow fucking 8,000 base isn't going to be the killing blow, or you think it's not going to be, so you want to hold back a little bit just to be safe in case they have a trap, to survive. But like, yeah, it can gain attack, your opponent can't respond to that, and it becomes unaffected by everything until the end of the turn, or at least everything your opponent has until the end of the turn. Although it does have the power bond backlash, which is how you even thing out. So, yeah, very strong card. And definitely a worthy dragon. Any number of 4 attack, sorry. Okay then. Chaos Xyz all for 1 dragon, a rank 5 dark attribute monster. It takes 5 level 5 monsters. It's a dragon Xyz effect with no attack or defense. It must be Xyz summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Meaning you can't reborn this thing. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Reduce the attack points of all monsters your opponent controls to 0. Also negate their effects, and if you do, this card gains double that lost attack. Your opponent cannot activate cards effects in response to this effect activation. Also, this card becomes unaffected by all card effects that turn this effect is activated. So this thing takes everything and the kitchen sink. It makes all your opponent's monster attack 0, negates their effects, and then not only steals the attack for themselves, doubles the stolen attack. Imagine if Arc Rebellion did that. Ugh. Not only do I negate all the effects from the source stolen monsters and gain all their attack points, I also make them 0 and get double the attack points, actually. So you're most likely going to die. Also, you can't activate effects in response to this activation, and I'm affected by everything. And I want to puke. Banned. Oh, jeez, this thing is a monster among men. But yeah, needless to say, this is a worthy final boss monster for all for one. I mean, there's 9 copies of this thing, so odds are this thing's going to have other forms than just the Chaos Xyz. Might even have an S shiny number form or something like that. Well, no, because it's not a number card, so probably won't, but you never know. If we can get future numbers, why can't we get other versions besides just Chaos Xyz solely? Or just different Chaos Xyz variants. I mean, we had Chaos number 39, Utopia Ray, Chaos fucking Hope Ray V, Chaos Xyz, Utopia has too many fucking forms! The more forms you give a monster, the less value it has. And I just said that this thing probably has more forms, but just like, I don't know. I'm just tired of Utopia. There are other archetypes in Zexo! Anyway. It's a good card, very powerful boss monster. All for 1 plus dragon. It's a rank 5 light monster. I think this was used by his monster in that Dream Duel thingamafudger. It takes 5 level 5 monsters and has 2,000 attack and 1,000 defense, which means it's the opposite stats as the original All-for-One Dragon. Like I said, this thing has a different form. It must be exceed summoned by a rank-up magic card, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Again, no monster reborn, just rank-up magic this bitch. I mean, that's probably what the Silver Sword was for. Once per turn, you can detach one season material from this card. This card gains attack equal to the strongest monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. Your opponent can activate card effects in response to this effect activation. Also, this card becomes unaffected by or card effects. I assume that was supposed to be all card effects, except your own, so your opponent's card effects, until the end of this turn. During the end phase of this turn, you activate this effect. Take damage equal to the attack of the monsters this monster gained by the effect this turn. So it's not as powerful as the Chaosity's version, but it does have less of a drawback than the original All-for-One Dragon, in the sense that you aren't getting all the attack, you're just getting the attack of one monster your opponent controls, and you're still taking burn damage at the end phase. But I'm also become unaffected by everything. You can activate effects and responses, and I probably will take less burn damage as a result. So it's an All-for-One Dragon that has a little less, but also just enough to stick around and help you stick around. So it's up to preference at that point.
And with that, that is another episode of What If Archetypes done.
A lot of talking.
What did you think of Topia, and what did you think of the cards he used? Drop a comment down below, make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
Topia is a very troubled character who had quite an interesting arc throughout the series, and trying to redeem himself as from what he was to where he is now. Well, where he is now is in a grave, I assume, so, you know. Topia is a tragic character who had a bad spot in life and just wanted to be seen as worthy, I guess. I don't know. He didn't know what he wanted to do with his life until finally he knew what he had to do when he finally counted the most. His archetypes, though, are a matter of opinion, really. I mean, I'm not big on the whole magic hunters and Masquerade. I mean, they just aren't for me, but if other people like them, more power to you. It's not just something that I look at and just be like, oh, that's a thing that exists. Anyway, you know, not my favorite, but I don't hate it. They're just there. So, this is sort of like liquid lead in a sense. Just wait for the Jones turn and performer C, the archetype thing. Oof. But anyway, yeah. Those are my thoughts. I'm not very in-depth, but, you know, they're there. And I dragged this video on long enough. So later.